When you think of the Cold War, you probably picture spies, missiles, and the looming threat of nuclear war. But behind the headlines and political speeches were bizarre operations, hidden experiments, and strange alliances that most history classes skip over. Here are 5 interesting, and often unbelievable, things you didn't know about the Cold War. 1. The CIA tried to spy on the Soviets, with cats. Yes, cats. In the 1960s, the CIA launched a project called Acoustic Kitty, where they implanted listening devices inside living cats. The plan? Train cats to eavesdrop on Soviet officials in parks and embassies. The program cost over $10 million. But during the first test, the cat wandered into the street, and was immediately hit by a taxi. The project was quietly shut down. Turns out, cats are too independent to be government spies. 2. The US and Soviet Union almost nuked the moon in one of the most extreme flexes of Cold War competition. Both superpowers considered detonating a nuclear bomb on the moon, just to show they could. The US plan, called Project A119, was meant to create a visible mushroom cloud to intimidate the Soviets and boost morale after the launch of Sputnik. Fortunately, scientists talked them down. But for a while, blowing up the moon was seriously on the table. 3. A bunch of farm kids almost caused World War III in 1983. The world came terrifyingly close to nuclear war, and almost nobody knew. The US ran a massive NATO exercise called Able Archer 83, simulating a nuclear conflict. The Soviet Union believed it was a real first strike. They loaded nukes onto bombers and prepared for all-out war. It was only due to a few cautious officers, and a Soviet double agent, that the world didn't go up in flames. The lesson? Paranoia nearly ended civilization, over a misunderstanding. 4. The Cold War fueled some of the greatest sci-fi ever made. Without the Cold War, you might never have had Dr. Strangelove, 1984, The Day the Earth Stood Still, or Star Trek. Fear of nuclear war, totalitarian governments, and surveillance inspired a generation of writers and filmmakers. Orwell, Kubrick, and even Gene Roddenberry shaped our imaginations using Cold War anxieties, wrapped in aliens, space travel, and dystopian futures. In a way, art became both a warning and a coping mechanism for a world constantly on the edge. The Cold War was more than a political standoff. It was a global psychological thriller filled with weird experiments, near misses, and unsung heroes. Which fact blew your mind the most? Let us know in the comments. Right finger subscribe to the Lost Ledgers for more surprising truths from history's strangest corners.